game up. They make a thirst-quenching adult beverage with a special blend of electrolytes. Comes in 4 great flavors: fruit punch, lemon, lime, orange, and grape.
Only 110 calories, low carb. Enjoy yourself some Game Up. UFC 311, if you're a fan of high-level fighting, I feel like this is going to be a very good card for you. Just looking up and down, a lot of high-level MMA fights here. We're going to talk about the main card, but before we do, Chevy, any fights you want to preview? Because there are some good ones on this undercard.
Yep, Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. I'll always watch Grant Dawson. He's a lot of fun. Haltian Almeida versus Sergey Spivak, sleeper heavyweight fight. 2 very dangerous guys on the ground. And then Peyton Talbot versus Raoni Barcelos. Barcelos is just a lamb to the slaughter at this point. Peyton Talbot is the truth for sure. Keep an eye out for him. Main card starting off with a real fun one.
Yeah.
Kevin Hollan versus RDR, Reinier De Ridder.
RDR is 18-2, 4 KOs, 12 subs, 2 decisions. He's the former 1 middleweight champion. Oh yeah, former 1 light heavyweight champion. So
which one championship is that would really be light heavyweight and heavyweight,
right,
because
right,
of their weight class system.
2 times. He's coming off his first fight in the UFC against Merab, I believe, and it was a round 3 submission. So this guy, he's got credentials everywhere. Kevin Hollan, though, 26-12-1, 14 KOs, 8 subs, 4 decisions. Fight of the night once, performance of the night 7 times. He's tied Roger Hurta and Neil Magny for most wins in a calendar year. He's kept busy. He's really been an up and down fighter of late, though. And this is interesting. I always remember back to when he had that fight with MVP and he lost, and he said, "Sorry, guys, I lost to a Bellator fighter." And I just wonder if this is going to happen again to this poor guy, because he just doesn't seem like he has luck sometimes. He ends up being the guy who does this. So just knowing this guy's aura and his karma, as much as I like Kevin Hollan, I actually want to see him get this win. Nothing against RDR. I'm going to go RDR, and I'm going to say another round 3 submission for him.
Yeah, on paper, RDR should submit Kevin pretty easily, but that's not what I see happening. RDR striking defense looked way, way behind the UFC level when he was fighting Meerschaert. Just absolutely. I mean, Meerschaert's not super dangerous on the feet, right, but is just terrible striking defense. Holland is long and creative and powerful on the feet, and he also has an underrated jiu-jitsu game himself. I don't know if you remember, he had that. He didn't get submitted by Alligator Man.
No, he finished him from the bottom, actually.
Yes. So I don't know if RDR's better at jiu-jitsu than him. So I think I'm going to pick Kevin. I think on the feet, before and every fight starts there, I think he's going to touch RDR up. So I'm going to say a round 2 KO. I could see it. All these fights, honestly, this is very good matchmaking. I could see any one of these fights going either way. I'm going to pick Kevin Hollan. Round 2 KO.
And speaking of fights, it can go anyway.
Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano.
Dariush is 22-6-1, 5 KOs, 8 subs, 9 decisions. Performance of the night 4 times. Fight of the night once. He had the 3rd most wins in UFC lightweight division history. He is on a 2-fight losing streak right now, but that's to Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan, who's fighting in the main event here tonight. Renato is 25-1, 2 KOs, 10 subs, 8 decisions, 4-fight win streak, and he's won 6 out of his last 7. He has got momentum right now. I thought he looked really good in his last fight against Benoit Saint Denis. Dariush, that 2-fight losing streak, even though it's against quality competition, it's very interesting because I feel like his back's against a wall, and it's going to be an interesting make or break fight for him, where he's going to probably either really rise to the occasion, but I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't know what the odds are. I would think Dariush is probably the favorite given some of his wins, but I'm going to say Moicano pulls this off.
I'm not sure what the odds were.
I don't think they're probably like...
I think they're pretty close.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm sure they're not heavy one way or the other. I'm going to go Moicano by, I'll say decision, although I could see this fight ending in any round by TKO, submission, or I could see this going to, either one. This is going to be a good fight. This could be fight of the night. I'm going to go Moicano, though, by decision.
Yeah, Beneil coming off those 2 losses. They were also a couple bad KOs, too.
They were.
Meaning Meanwhile, Anato's been on fire, beating some higher level guys in like Jalen Turner and Grant and Benoit Saint-Denis. Yep. So it's a tough one to call. I think it could go either way. Like you, I think either one could get a KO or submission. Both super high level on the ground, but like to strike. Nobody's going to be afraid to go to the ground for sure. And I think the key word being momentum. I think that's going to cause me. I'm with you. I'm going to pick Moicano, and I think I'm going to pick a decision. Both guys very tough. Like you said, fight of the night possibly.
Yeah, I think so.
Super fun. Jiri Prochazka versus Jamahal Hill.
I do not predict this one's going to the distance. Jamahal Hill, 12-2-1, 7 KOs, 5 decisions. He's won 4 out of his last 5. This guy is the former light heavyweight champion. He lost it due to an injury. He did get a fight with Alex Pereira when he came back. He was not able to do it, so he was knocked out in bad fashion. But Jiri Prochazka, 35-1, 26 KOs, 3 subs, 1 decision. This is a guy who's finished or be finished a lot of times. It rarely goes decision. Also former light heavyweight champion. So this is going to be a fun fight. Jiri is so reckless. And I don't know if he's going to change that style at all. So it's always a little hard to go with him sometimes because of this, even though he's a lot of fun and I like him. I kind of want him to win. So I'm going to go Jiri. I'm going to go with my heart because that recklessness is either going to cause him to win or it's going to cause him to get finished. So I'll just go with my heart. Round 2, Jiri Prochazka, TKO.
Yeah, I'm also a fan of Jiri, but he gets hit way too much and Jamahal hits way too hard. Obviously, Jiri is a unique and powerful striker himself and could also certainly KO Hill in some exciting fashion. But if I was betting, I would put my money on Hill for a round 1 KO. I think both guys just go in, they wait in. Jiri does something wild and keeps his chin up, and Jamahal 1-2s him and puts him out. Co-main event, Merab Dvalishvili versus Umar Nurmagomedov.
Oh, wait, this probably doesn't go decision. And I mean, even more confident, this is probably going to decision in the main event, which I think will probably go decision too. This one I feel pretty confident about. Umar's 18-0, 2 KOs, 7 subs, 9 decisions, performance of the night twice, second highest control time percentage in bantamweight history. What if Merab has first? I didn't put that in my notes, but
I don't know if he is really that great at controlling people.
Oh, that's true.
A lot of takedowns because they get up, which is almost more tiring. If you get up, get taken down, get up instead of just being held down. So
Merab's 18-4, 3 KOs, 1 subs, 14 decisions. He's the current UFC Bantamweight champion. So let's just get right to it. These guys are probably both equal almost everywhere. Like, I don't think neither one of them is going to be like that much of a better striker. And they're both superb wrestlers. I mean, what do you think in striking wise?
I think Umar is vastly better in striking.
You do? I see. I was leaning towards that way too. And I heard Umar talk about this, but it's like I don't see a lot of KOs on either record. You know what I mean?
I don't think he has power. I think he's just
a better striker.
Technically much better.
And I'm going to lean towards Umar to win a decision here, but I will say this. Umar's went to 1 5-round decision so far, his most recent one over Corey Sandhagen. So Merab definitely has that, and he has an amazing pace. If your last name's Umar, Nurmagomedov, you're Habib, he's the cousin, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I just have a feeling, I have a hard time picturing this guy getting, worn out, but if there's going to be a guy that does it, it's probably going to be Merab. So, yeah, I could see Merab win a decision easily, too. But I'm going to go Umar. I'm just going to say I smell an upset. I also don't like the fact that Merab has been a little too emotional. It does tend to be the way Merab is anyway. But going against a guy who can match you, in wrestling and stuff, I don't like it.
Merab has to avoid taking damage to his body early while consistently putting heavy pressure. Like, he's known to put that pressure on. But we saw Sean O'Malley hurt Merab to the body, and that'll slow down and kill a lot of that cardio he has. So he needs to protect that. And then he needs to be shooting every chance he gets because he's definitely outmatched on the feet, in my opinion. But if he can tire Umar out, anything can happen. And like you said, if anyone can tire him out, it'll be Merab because he has a unnatural pace and pressure. So I'm rooting for Merab, but I think Umar gets the decision. I think technically he can defend the wrestling enough, and on the feet, he'll have, if the fight stays on the feet all the time and Umar stuffs the takedowns, he will win on points in a striking match. So main event, Islam Makachev versus Arman Tsarukyan 2.
Be a good one. Arman Tsarukyan's 22-3, 9 KOs, 5 subs, 8 decisions, fight of the night twice, performance of the night 3 times. Islam Makachev is 25-1, 5 KOs, 12 subs, 9 decisions. He's the current UFC champion at lightweight. He's already had 3 successful title defenses, fight of the night 3 times. And probably the key stat is here, he won the initial fight between these two by decision in a fight of the night that was Arman's debut in the UFC. So,
and on short notice.
So I would say Arman Tsarukyan has a really good chance here, and I would definitely not count him out at all. I think there's a good chance he could win this fight. Decision, KO. There's a lot of different places he could go. But since he's looked really good, and since Islam has looked really good, and Islam continues to get better, I'm going to go with the champ. I'll go with Islam Makachev, who's on a bit of a finishing streak right now. I'll say these guys are going to probably get at it too. I'll go with Islam Makachev with a finish round 4. TKO.
Side note, have you seen pictures of Tsarukyan lately?
No.
He is in phenomenal shape.
Okay. I like that.
Challenging Michael Chandler for best body in the UFC, or Paulo Costa. Speaking of which, no idea where Paulo Costa is. Haven't seen or heard from him in months, but
I just want to say too before you give us our prediction, I kind of want Arman Tsarukyan to win this. I want to root for this guy, and I like Islam Makachev, but I want to see like some new blood, I think, and maybe we'll get some more fresh matchups.
So obviously Arman had that loss, like his second fight in his career in Russia or wherever he was fighting. But outside of a controversial decision loss to Gamrot, Arman's only other loss was to Islam on short notice, and it was 6 years ago. Both guys have vastly improved, obviously. I like Arman too. I think he has the skills to win.
Yeah.
But I just think that Islam at this point just has an aura about him as like pound for pound guy, and a certain confidence that comes with that. And I feel like in certain fights, Arman, when it doesn't go his way off the start of the fight, his confidence can be shaken. And I think that that's going to play a factor in this fight. So I think that'll affect how aggressive he needs to be to go out there and win rounds immediately on Islam. So I'm with you. Would like to see Arman win, but I've got to pick Islam. He's the champ for a reason. And I think it's going to be close and he gets a decision. But I could see him getting a finish. He is great on the feet as well as on the ground, both guys. But I think they're going to cancel each other out and we'll see a decision.
Again, I agree with you about the aura of Islam Makachev, though. I think that's where we're at, and that's why I feel like almost with Umar, too. I felt like Corey Sandhagen was just absolutely one of the best well-rounded bantamweights who probably didn't get his due and had a few close, tough losses. And when I saw Umar got stronger as that fight went on, I was like, that really made me, believe.
Right, he beat him like 5-0, I think, right? If I remember correctly.
He did.
He won every
round. Rounds that were close in the beginning, but as time went on, Umar just continued stronger. And I don't know. That's an interesting fight. That's a fight, like I said, it's guaranteed to go decision. It could be really fun or it could be boring. It's going to be really hard to say because they could cancel each other out, kind of like, Kobe Covington and Usman did back in the day. And they had those banger fights because, they just ended up going at it. I could see a similar situation like that. But I could also see a ton of clinch work, too. So we'll see what happens. But either way, I would say, especially if you're a fan of high-level MMA, this is definitely a good fight card for you because between that Bantamweight showdown, the Lightweight Championship, and I would even say Dariush and Moicano, you're going to have a lot of high-level MMA fights there. Jamahal Hill and Prochazka, no disrespect to them. I just feel like that's going to be more of a war.
Yeah, nobody's going to be doing any grappling in that one.
Enjoy some Game Up.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.